Hey Woodhaven family, and welcome back to the Journey 24/7 podcast. This is Chandler here with you again. I hope you're having a great week. You've officially reached Wednesday, or as a lot of people like to call it, Hump Day. And if you're like me, all you can think of whenever you hear that is the old Geico commercial with the camel, and hear the person screaming it. I am not going to do that today for the sake of your ears, so you don't have to hear that. But I do hope you are having a great week so far. As I've shared with you, when you're listening to this, I'm actually going to be in Disney World with Hannah and my family. Today, I believe we're going to be at Epcot, so we're going to be having a good time seeing all the different countries and riding rides and all of that fun stuff. But now we are going to turn our attention to Genesis chapter 23. Now this chapter is a pretty straightforward chapter. There's not a lot for us to sit and decipher through. This is more just a straightforward narrative to inform us of what was next in this life of Abraham and Isaac. And in this chapter, we do see the death of Sarah, Abraham's wife. So what we're starting to see here is a shift, and we've been focusing on Abraham for quite a while now. In his life, and now it's going to start being Isaac for a while. We see here the death of Sarah. In a couple of chapters, we see the death of Abraham. So we're really starting to turn our attention to where Isaac is starting to become more of the focus of the story. Now, obviously, God is the focus of the story, but Isaac is about to become more of the focal point of the humans that are in this story, with God being at the center of it all. But here we see the death of Sarah. But then we see that Abraham is looking for a place to bury her. And he goes and he buys a cave in Hebron for her to be buried in. Now, this was important for a couple of reasons. One, he wanted to buy it so that it was actually his. He didn't want it just to be somewhere where he could just place it and go. No, he wanted actually for it to be his, and so it would be there for his family. And it would be a place for Sarah to be buried. But the other part of this that's important for us to remember is that Hebron was in the land of Canaan. And so this is also fulfilling what the Lord had promised. This was now going to be a monumental spot in their descendants, in their line of their family, of Abraham's descendants. If you remember, we saw back in chapter 12, 13, and 15, all where God had promised Abraham some land. The land in Canaan would be where his family would be. So this is just, again, the Lord fulfilling the promise. Now, I wanted to hit on that first because that was the most important kind of narrative focus of this chapter. But the one other thing I do want us to think about is at the very beginning of this chapter, when we first see that Sarah passed away, it says that Sarah died in the land of Canaan, and Abraham went in to mourn for Sarah and to weep for her. That's an important verse there, and I know it seems kind of silly for us to even say this, but this verse shows the importance of mourning and weeping when we lose someone. You see, so often I think we have to push through and we have to get to these next steps. And even if we know that mourning is important, when we face those kinds of situations, a lot of times we do just want to try to distract ourselves. No, allow ourselves time to weep. Allow ourselves time to mourn. Just as we see Abraham did for Sarah here. The Lord has made us to where we're going to weep when we lose someone. But as he tells us in Scripture, we do not mourn as those mourn that were without hope. We do have hope in the gospel. So whenever we do face those times of losing someone we love, just remember to cling to the Lord in that, to mourn and to weep, but also to remember the hope that he provides us through the gospel, through the cross, through his resurrection. That's going to wrap us up for today. Like I said, there wasn't a ton here in Genesis chapter 23 for us to decipher, but it's an important step in the narrative. Tomorrow we'll open up in Genesis chapter 24 as we start to see a little bit more into who Isaac is and where his life is going to lead. So I'm looking forward to that, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye.